Being able to play with your friends in Terraria has always been a core aspect. But like a lot of games, you were only able to play with those friends if they were on the same device as you. But that will be changing very soon. While the team behind Terraria has been working on and giving us news on their next update, version 1.4.5, they have also been working on crossplay for every platform. But it won't be bundled in with 1.4.5. Instead, it will be its own update after 1.4.5. So, that's why I wanted to go over everything we know about crossplay so far, what you can expect from it, and more importantly, when you will actually be able to play it for yourself. Let's first start off by quickly going over the development timeline of Terraria's crossplay, as without that, it's hard to explain when we can expect it to come out. Technically speaking, crossplay is already in Terraria. As in, the last update we got, they added the ability for mobile and PC users to play together. But Xbox, PlayStation, and the Switch are still stuck to only being able to play with each other, at least for now. Adding crossplay to any platform is hard enough development-wise. But what a lot of people don't realize is that getting the different console platforms to allow crossplay for specific games on their platform is a huge task. But I'll go more into this later. Getting back to the timeline, the first time we ever got to hear about crossplay coming to console Terraria was in the August State of the Game in 2022, which is when they slightly hinted at it. But just a couple months later, in October, they announced that it was not only something that they were actually planning on adding, but that they have already started working on it. Next month, in November, we got to hear a little more about crossplay, with them saying they are overall happy with their plans for it. And now, they were mainly waiting to hear back from the companies behind the various platforms. After that, Relogic took a small break until January 2023, but after that break is when they said that they have already begun work on crossplay, with them starting by upgrading the core engine and software library. Which is also essentially the same bit of news we would get in the next state of the game in March. After that, we didn't hear about it for a while, which makes sense, given the fact that they are making Terraria's next update, while also working on crossplay at the same time. Eventually though, in July's State of the Game, they showed off this picture, which clearly shows 4 different platforms all playing together. Then, in October's State of the Game for 2023, we got the last major update on crossplay. They started off by showing off the crossplay option in the world settings, and then went on to explain that crossplay will come out as its own update after 1.4.5 is released, and that crossplay will be released into 2 different phases. Now that we're all caught up on where crossplay is currently at, let's finally answer the main question you probably have. When will Terraria crossplay finally release? Like I slightly mentioned earlier in this video, getting crossplay into the game can be broken down into 2 parts, which is the development side and the talking with companies part. The development side is probably at least close to what you're thinking it's like, other than the major issue of Terraria's age. See, Terraria came out well over 10 years ago, and not only that, but it was coded by an indie team on the .NET framework, which may have been decent at the time, but quickly became outdated. This doesn't really mean anything bad for Terraria outright, as regardless of how something in a game is coded, if it works, then it works. But for crossplay, it can slightly change things, which is why one of the very first things Relogic did when starting to work on crossplay was update core aspects of the game code. Even aside from that though, once they do fully have it finished, they will also have to bug test it too, which may take some more time. The other part of getting crossplay into Terraria is arguably the harder one, which is talking to the companies behind the various platforms. Even if Relogic is able to get crossplay working perfectly across everything in their tests, if the console companies say that Terraria can't have crossplay on their platform, or they want certain changes done, then there's nothing Relogic can do other than follow suit. This is the exact issue that Fortnite and Minecraft specifically had with Sony, with Minecraft getting crossplay on PlayStation 2 years after the other platforms, while Fortnite took roughly a year to get it. Since then, Sony has seemingly been getting more and more okay with crossplay on its platforms, and we've already seen PlayStation featured in the image showing 4 different platforms playing together. So it's likely Terraria won't be facing the same issues that Minecraft and Fortnite did. But my point in bringing this up is to show the real reasons some games never get, or take forever to get, crossplay. And this isn't to say that Sony would be the one causing holdups, or even causing any problems to begin with, as realistically, any of the companies could be doing that. Or it could go super smoothly with every single company involved. Regardless of if there is any issues with the companies or not, it's still a tedious process that will take up time of its own, just like the development side of it. Which is what I wanted to make clear with this part of the video, as I see a lot of people thinking that crossplay is solely for Relogic to decide and make. And for the last part of this video, let's finally talk about when we can actually expect crossplay. Right off the bat, we know that the crossplay update will most likely release in 2 phases, meaning maybe only certain platforms can play with each other during these phases. Like, for example, only PlayStation and Xbox being able to play together, before moving on to another set of platforms. Regardless of what the phases do and how they roll out, it's all for the better, as this will help ensure that crossplay is as smooth as possible when it fully releases, which is when every platform will be able to play together. And more importantly, we also know that crossplay will be getting its own update that comes out after the 1.4.5 update, which they're doing to make sure that crossplay doesn't hinder the development process of 1.4.5. This means that what is most likely going to happen is after 1.4.5 releases, and any patches needed for that update also come out, Relogic will move most of their attention to crossplay until it comes out. So that changes the question to when is 1.4.5 gonna come out? Relogic said in a State of the Game this year that 2024 is going to be their best year yet. But considering what they said in the most recent State of the Game, where they mentioned that they are still working on a list of to-dos and don't want to cut any corners, which likely means the update won't be releasing super soon, but it still has a chance to come out this year sometime. Regardless of when it comes out, odds are Relogic will announce the release date in a State of the Game well before it comes out, just like they did with the last update to come out. So we will know when it's getting close to releasing, which will also mean getting close to crossplay finally coming out. Regardless of whether it comes out next month or gets pushed back a lot longer, we know that Relogic is hard at work, which is clearly shown in the 1.4.5 spoilers they show off online. So don't hammer the Relogic team with questions relating to the release, as they're already working as fast and as diligently as they can. And that wraps up this video. While not exactly on the topic of crossplay, my last video was me going over everything confirmed to be coming to Terraria in the 1.4.5 update, which is the video popping up in the top right corner, in case you're interested in checking out that video as well. Thanks for sticking to the end. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And as always, make sure to have a wonderful day.